Alright, hey YouTube, I am live, and I will go live article. What is up, my YouTube? We are live, coming at you. Is 1080p the only option? Am I not streaming at least 1440? Who knew? Alright, let's write some code today. I actually want to straight up write some C++. It's been a minute. I've been using the LLMs to kind of sketch out some ideas and see what it could generate. I haven't been too happy with how it was generating it, but it at least gave me some ideas and how I want to approach some things. So I think I'm ready to start writing some C++. And the first thing I want to do, actually, is make sure my current code compiles. I also came across an issue where when I'm in a dev container, the dev container is root, or has root permissions inside the container, which changes who owns my files outside the container, which makes it a little difficult to do anything outside the container. So the first thing I want to make sure I fix is, I'm pretty sure there's a way to get Docker to, or the dev container in Docker to like load as your current user. So I want to see if an LLM will give me the answer to that. In my dev container.json files, I don't configure it to run as my user. Is there a way to do this? If I don't do this, what happens? If I don't do this, what happens? That's not good English. If I don't do this, file permissions from the container change to root instead of funnin. All right, let's see if that cleans anything up for me real quick. Because I was struggling to do a simple git pull after leaving a container, and it was because the permissions were set to root. Now, if I set it to my user, I wonder if I'll still have to use a sudo to install anything. Probably. Oh my gosh, cat. It is insane how ridiculous you get when I start streaming. Is it because I'm talking? Huh? Am I making a lot of noise? Alright, going to implement directly all three containers. Okay, so build docker args username, remote username, container user username, update remote user UID. Alright, I'm going to, I guess, ooh, we're editing the Docker file. Why do we need to edit the Docker file? No. Why do we need that? Group add. Do we need this? What's this going to do in my pipeline? This was more invasive than I thought it would be, if I'm being honest. I don't want a default username. Added username, user UID, user GID, robust user group creation logic, Android specific adjustment. Debug key store is now created under the non-root home path instead of root. What to do next? Rebuild each container, reopen container, verify. what impact, if any, will this have inside a GitHub action environment? Usually little to no impact unless your workflow actually builds or runs these dev containers. What changes in the CI depends on how actions are set up. My suspicion, username from local user will resolve to the runner user, typically runner, not fun. And alright, well, I guess the only thing to do is try it out real quick. I am curious if I'll need sudo permission, which probably means I need to install sudo. Let's see here. Rebuild. Reopening container. Did I pick the right one? I have no idea. Linux. Big eyed on this. Alright, so that didn't work. I hate that VS Code always brings up the dev container logs in a different tab. Okay, so what went wrong? Error. Response from daemon unable to find user fun and no matching entries and password file. Okay. This might be more involved than I was thinking it was. I thought it was just going to be, hey, I'm the user. Use me. Dude, you have food. What is your issue? Huh? What is your issue? Come here. Come here. Give me your foot. Ridiculous. Yeah. You're ridiculous. Doesn't have to be this way. Come on. Alright. Alright, so what nonsense is happening? The error is blah blah blah. The root cause is Docker file. Ubuntu 2510 ships with the default. Oh, hey, SMB. Yeah, his name is Trill. Well, he trills. And he's also a twerp. Don't let him fool you. Let's see here. The current user creation logic checks if funding exists. It doesn't. And attempts user and which silently fails because the UID is already occupied by Ubuntu. The user ends up not being created. The fix is to detect that case and rename the existing. Nah, this is too much. Nope. Nope. We're not doing any of this. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Cancel all undo. This is not what I wanted. We'll just continue doing it as root, and I will modify the contents inside the container. Not a big deal. Okay, let's write some code. I need to change branches I need to create a branch, and we're going to call this objects, because we are going to implement the core object of this framework, Awen, to essentially manage our memory. It'll be pretty straightforward. We're just going to do a simple object composition style API, so child parent relationship kind of thing. Maybe with some signals to notify when something changes, when the object is destroyed, that kind of thing. So object.ixx element OP. That should go there. We will save it. Let's hop into our dev container. Who here knows what the rule of 5 is? Have heard of the rule of 5? Better yet, who here knows what C++ is? Maybe that's what I should be asking first. Because we need to make sure we account for it when we write this. So this is going to be a module class, or module object. And we will make use of... what do we do? Is it better to, if you're storing a bunch of pointers that we may or may not iterate over a bunch, should it still be a vector, or could we get away with using a deck? I've always wondered that. Maybe I should explore that someday. Export module Awen dot object. Am I doing capital or lowercase? Lowercase. I wonder how much the AI can auto-generate for me and figure out, ooh, is this not auto-formatting? Why is this not auto-formatting? It's installed. Clang format exists. Why is this not auto-formatting? Save without formatting. Format document. Ooh. There are multiple formatters for C++. One of them should be configured as default. Whoops. Oh, Clang D. No, we want Clang format, I guess. I mean, I guess it could be Clang D if it can use Clang format. Then I wouldn't need... Does Clang D do that? Clang D helps developers write, understand, and improve C++, code completion, compile error warnings, go-to definition, cross code formatting. I don't think I knew that. Can I get rid of an extension? Clang D uses the Clang format engine. You can format a file or the selection when format on type is enabled. In the settings, pressing enter will cause Clang D to format the old line and semantically re-indent. The style used for formatting is controlled by the... So it would still use our format file. Oh, well maybe I don't need... I don't think I knew that. Maybe I don't need both then. Let's remove it. I don't need to rebuild. Okay, so with claim format gone, will this still format? It looks like it does. Okay. All right, so essentially the object is, yeah, there it goes. It's auto-completing. That's not how I do member variables. I wish I knew what was auto-completing, because then maybe I can write an instruction not to do it incorrectly. Because I have Copilot instructions, but I don't know if it's Copilot that's auto-completing or not, or if it's an extension that's doing it for me. I think a deck is okay. If I'm not going to be using objects too much to iterate over. But what do I get from a deck that I can't just do with a vector? Like the iterator invalidation is not an issue because I'm always going to have like access to the pointers of the objects themselves, and we're just storing those pointers in the vector. So I'm not really tracking the iterator of the vector. I mean, with an object, I can push or pop, front or back. That could be beneficial if I needed to use this for like events, I guess, or some kind of like queue, because that is what a deck is, a double-ended queue. Freaking cat. You know what? Always default to vector until you have a reason not to. All right. So then the other question I had. Do I pass in... Do I do this? Oh my gosh. Oh. This will not work, I don't think, because of this situation right here. Because this object is going to be a unique pointer, and so I need a way to move ownership of this object into the parent, and you don't have access to the unique pointer inside the object's constructor. So I don't think this can work. We will be deriving from object, and as soon as we define a destructor, we have now entered the realm of rule of 5, which means, especially since this is going to be polymorphic, we need to delete the copy and move operators. Well, it already knows to do it for me. Look at that. Come on, give me the moves. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so that's not how you define a move. And I also want to use trailing return types in this project. Cool. All right, does that look good? That looks good. All right, so this gives us an object that we can derive from. Pretty straightforward. We want to track who our parent is. I don't know. There's not a world where this object stays in scope and the parent dies, which would invalidate this pointer. Because if this object has a parent, it's dying with it. If it doesn't have a parent, then we'll just set it to null. So I don't think I need to do anything special here. I think it's just a, what do you call it? It's just a raw pointer. So that's fine. So we need to add, we need a way to add a child. We also need a way to remove the child. What else are we gonna need? Probably want to give it some kind of name. Auto set name. Uh, String view. Is it gonna get it? Yeah, I got it. Tab. Look at that. Oh, it even knows to use no discard. Let's go. Yep. Cool. So we want to set name, get name. Cool. Will this give me a little bit of documentation at least? For all objects in the engine. Perfect. Don't need anything too crazy. Oh, too far, too far. That's all we need. Cool. Sorry, Enya's kind of my jam. It's distracting me. Let's see here. So we want to add a child. Unique pointer by value, of course. So when we add a child, Jesus. We set the child's parent to this, and then we add it to our list of children. But we only do this if X isn't null. If X is null, we just return. Now, we could do some error handling here and say, like, hey, it's an error if you pass in a null child. I don't know what to do about that yet. Because we could do like a standard, what is it, stood expected? Standard expected. We could also wrap children in a try-catch block to avoid any exceptions occurring there. We could try and start making this project very robust early on. But that gets boring really quick. Dude, you need to chillax. All right, I'll be right back. My cat will not stop bugging me. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right. I threw my cat out in the garage. Don't let me forget. Where was I? Add child. Get parent. We need to be able to remove child. So the question becomes, do you remove the child from the parent like so, where you need both the parent and the child in order to accomplish this? Or do we have a remove function where a child can remove itself from the parent? Because at least this way, you don't necessarily need to have both the parent and the child present. You can just have the child present, say, hey, remove. And this logic isn't even... Is this right? I don't think this logic is right. If I add a comment to describe what this does, will the LLM generate it correctly? Remove this object from its parent. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. All right, so if the parent is null, do nothing. Otherwise, get my siblings, I guess, and call siblings.erase. Now that's not gonna fly. We're gonna use ranges, which is, or actually, I think there's just a general like new way of doing standard erase. Yeah, look at this. Since C++20 and soon to be 26, looks like we're getting additional stuff. Support of different allocator types, maybe? What is the difference? Class U? What is U? Oh, you can just pass in a value. Oh, instead of doing a like a lambda, you can just pass a value in directly. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I think this effectively does the erase remove for us. I think it does, or is it still just erase? Erases all elements at comparative value equivalent to calling erase. Maybe this isn't doing erase remove. Erases all of... Oh, no, it is. Yeah, see, it's doing it. It's doing a remove and then passes that iterator in. So that would have been erase remove. So it does do the idiom for us. So that's just standard erase. So we don't need all of this anymore, which is awesome. We just need to do standard erase. And we're doing a raw pointer comparison to a... I don't know if this will work. Erase value since C++20. We'll try it. We might have to do a predicate because I don't know if a unique pointer and a raw pointer are implicitly comparable. We'll do parent, children, comma, this. Look at this. That's so much cleaner, right? But the question is, does it compile? I also probably should have made sure this whole thing compiled before we got started. It configures. It's... Ooh. Error. No member named children in on object. You got me this time, compiler. You got me this time. Oh no. Everything is awful. Look at this. Does anyone understand what this says? I know what it says immediately, but does anyone else? This is what I thought was going to happen. So we can't compare a raw pointer to a unique pointer. So I do need to use a lambda. Unfortunately, got to use that lambda. So const auto child. We need to capture by this because this is what we're removing, and then we need to return. Oh, it knows it already. Okay, and then this needs to become erase if. Does erase return something? Do I need to handle that? Oh, I will need to handle it actually, because I don't want to. When I oh man, how do we do this? When I remove myself from a parent, if I want to keep it alive, I want to return the unique pointer from the vector in case, for whatever reason, I might want to keep the object alive, but just without its parent. So then I will need to handle that. What does erase if return? I'm assuming it's just going to be the iterator. Oh, does it return true or false? What the hell does this thing return? R is an integer value? Oh, is it the number of elements removed? Erased even numbers. 5. Okay, so it's just returning a count of what was erased. So I need to... if I want to keep... So this is just going to kill my object then. I don't have a choice. Oh, what happens here? If children owns this... So children is where the unique pointer lives. But it gets destroyed when I erase it. Is this even safe to do? Okay, so I have to... Nope, I have to do this. So I still have to do the erase remove idiom. We'll use ranges, so I don't have to do the whole, like, begin, end, iterator nonsense. Because I need to find the iterator and then move it out of the vector container so that it's its own unique pointer. Then erase the empty slot and then return the unique pointer so it stays alive. Or if we don't capture it, then it just falls out of scope and dies. So what is that? God, it's been a while. So const auto iterator. Oh, maybe it's doing it for me. So one downside to using ClangD is this stuff here, like the ampersand R colon, the pred colon, these don't actually exist. It's just ClangD inlining it for me, which is kind of nice, but at the same time, it does make your code longer to view, which can be a pain. Const auto iterator, find if that's true. Okay, so that's our iterator. So then if we didn't find ourselves in the list, then there's nothing to do. But this is going to be a unique pointer. Which means here we return, yep, there we go, null pointer, null pointer. This goes away. Oh my gosh, it knows what to do. Look at that. So it's going to erase the iterator. Okay. So if we don't have a parent, then we're not in anything. So let's just return null because that didn't do anything. If we wanted it to be a little bit more informational, I think we could use standard expected here. And then it would be you either return this or you get an error to handle, like saying, hey, no op, nothing happened. So this is an interesting combo. If I don't have a parent, this should also happen, right? Because then I'm not ever in a container if I don't have a parent. So this is just an extra, almost an extra safety precaution. I don't like dot end here. I always prefer to use these function types here because then it becomes a lot easier to swap refactor containers while leaving the rest of your code the same. Let's see here. Result. So we move the unique pointer out of the container, then we erase what was in the container. Why is this? Call to deleted constructor of unique pointer object. I mean, the constructor isn't deleted, but I don't know. Oh, you okay. So let me make sure. Yeah. So we the LLM defined this result as const. Making a unique pointer const means you can't move it. And if you can't move it, you can't return a unique pointer. Because in C++, generally speaking, you get return value optimization, RVOs, with unique pointers by just returning them. You don't have to like manually call move yourself. But by making it const, we were basically saying, we were telling the compiler we knew what we were doing and we wanted it const, but then the compiler's like, well, if you know what you're doing, why are you returning it const? So it yelled at me about that. I hate the compiler. Let's see here. Okay, so that should give us a remove function. So we can add child to our widget digit, the object. We can remove ourselves from our parent. We set our parent right when we add child. That looks good. We probably need a way to get our children. Get the children of this object. Let's return. Okay, let's see if it does it. Oh, look at this. I didn't have to write anything. I just this even if you don't use AI slash LLMs to generate a bunch of code, just the sheer usefulness of the autocompletes that it's able to do. Like if I know what code I want to write, then the LLM will just help me write it via tab. So I'll still write the code, but I do it one tab press at a time instead of multiple characters at a time. So get children, we turn const ref, we want all that. Cool. So all this looks good. So I think I want to get a couple of simple tests written just to verify. I especially want to verify this remove is behaving like I expect it to. And so we can do that in here. Hey, there's my daily view bot offer. Love you guys. You help keep my view average up to 1. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's include the G test. Let's import the object. And then let's see if we can get some tab tests going here. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I'll just keep going until it runs out of tests I can think of. I'll still review it, of course. Multiple children. Okay, so what do we got here? So we test the object name. Cool. We test parent child. So there's a parent, a child. We add a child to the parent. We verify that parent get children dot size. Parent get children has a parent called parent. Now, these tests work, but if there was a bug in our code and this didn't work, this would throw an exception. This is an index about, like, this test here would fail, but this test here would throw an exception. So that's not going to work. At a bare minimum, this needs to be assert equal so that we can stop the test at this point, because this should have been 1. And anything we do past this point, we're expecting that to be 1. So now remove child should be safe to do. All of that looks good. I would still prefer standard size to be used here. And then I can run the test to make sure everything's still kosher. 100% test pass, 0 tests failed, object name pass, parent child, remove without parent, remove non-existent child. All of this looks fan-freaking-tastic. 0, 0, 0, 0, failed, 0 failed. Cool. Look at, all right. Good deal. Okay, so all the tests passed. Behaving as expected. So, at some point, we are going to want the ability to reference our objects. But we don't want to reference them with raw pointers, because they could potentially go out of scope. And what we would have to do then is observe when an object gets destroyed if we were keeping a reference. Now, the easy solution would be just make everything a shared pointer, and then you either use a shared pointer reference or a weak pointer to verify or check that it's gone out of scope. But what we can do instead is we can implement some code here to make sure we know when an object dies. Using signals. Oh my gosh, it knew where I wanted to put it. I was trying to understand what it was doing. Yeah, I didn't think this was the syntax. It's just like this, right? Argument may not have void type. What? Signal void type does not provide a call operator. My suspicion is I did not write the signal correctly. It appears my signal class doesn't support void types. I would like to define my signals with the syntax signal return type args. So for a void type, it would look like signal void, even if signal doesn't support return types. I still want to declare the return type void. See what happens. And let's stage these changes because these are working. But yeah, the big issue here is I didn't specify a return type because the return type void was built in. But I do like, even if I'm not supporting return types, I like to be able to make it look like I'm specifying essentially a standard function at this point. There we go. So now I should be able to specify the return type. Cool. Do I do anything to enforce? Hmm. Already used a signal void. It was already using the new syntax. The change looks complete. Let's run some tests to confirm. OnDestroy is calling signal directly like a functor. Oh, I knew that. That's my bad. so used to using boost signals. All right, 20 pests. 20 tests have passed. Okay, so let's see what changed. The signal syntax API changed. Now I can specify the void type. All that looks good. Should compile. Heck yeah. All right. So I've created this on destroyed signal. Now I want to. Ooh, should I just make it public? Should this just be on destroyed? I don't know if I need to wrap this in a function or not. Making it public would save some typing. Yeah, let's do that. And then what we can do, I want to make sure we have a test to cover this, a little bit of this. So we'll see if we get a little bit of auto-completion going on here. So if I do test on destroyed signal, I just can't. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. You can't, I can't explain how much my quality of life is improving coding when we can autocomplete a bunch of boilerplate stuff that I have probably written time and time again, hundreds, if not thousands of times over the years. Okay, so we instantiate our object. We create a count object to verify that our destroy gets called. It is 0 so far. Then we call reset on the unique pointer, and then our destroy count should go up by 1. Seems to be working. So all that's fine. The last thing I want to implement before I move on is a reference object that would let us know if our pointer is out of scope or not, if it died somewhere else. So I'm thinking a template type T, and I suspect this is going to implement it for me if I call this object pointer. Oh, I was really hoping it would. Oh, it's doing something. Okay. Okay. We also need to establish a connection to on destroyed. We also need an operator, or at least a copy. I'm trying to think if we need to allow raw pointer and unique pointer. You pass any unique pointer, this will give you an object that points to its raw pointer, establishes a connection. Okay, I think so. Okay, so actually, do I need a template here? I don't know if I need a template here. Yeah, no, I need a template here. Okay, because I need to be able to access the fields directly. So we take in a raw pointer. We get our pointer. If So we also need a valid field, right? I guess valid just returns if it's null or not. And then we observe the connection. Okay, so I'm thinking we want to connect to the undestroyed. So if undestroyed connect our object, we set our pointer to null. And I think that's all this is really. And then we can also have a auto is valid that lets us know if our object is valid or not. I could also do an equal overload to verify, or what is it? Is it a Boolean overload? How does this work? Where I want to, or a null pointer comparison overload. Basically just say, hey, is this guy null or not? That's probably an equal overload. I don't even know if it needs to be an overload. Is it just a spaceship operator? Ooh, do I get to use the spaceship operator here? Auto operator spaceship. Because then it's just, oh, but that's comparing an object pointer. Crap. What if I wanted to manually define a spaceship operator? Can I do that too? I'll be honest. Part of the reason I am working on this code base is I have not gotten to use a lot of the newer C++ features professionally. So I'm kind of learning as I go. I was aware of this stuff. I don't know if I was aware of a null pointer type, which is just the type of. Oh, that's interesting. Um, if they're equal, they're equal. Otherwise, it's greater. Is that what I should do, though? What I was trying to figure out was what the return type of this was, so I could just do like standard strong ordering. Is that what it is? I'm gonna have to test this, obviously. It does not like this. Use a trailing return type. Oh, I already know that. Okay, so let's fix this. No discard. Okay, so we pass an object in here. And I think I also want to support unique pointer. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to release. No, 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 no. It's dot get. That would be crazy. Okay. So this will observe when the pointer is destroyed, when the object is destroyed. When it becomes destroyed, set our internal pointer to null. And then we can just check if our object is null or not. while we're using this. So this is basically our own pointer type now. Instead of, we basically have an observer pointer almost. Object pointer. I think that's good. Does that compile? We'll write some tests. Make sure nothing's crazy. Well, someone will write some tests. Okay, so what's this going to do? This is going to make a unique pointer, set a name on it. It's going to create an object pointer. It's going to call move. I see why it was doing a release, because I was taking this by value. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to transfer ownership. So this needs to be like const reference. So I need to do that again. It is quicker for me to delete the test so that I can on destroyed signal with children. Should we test this? What's it saying to do? Parent, child, you add the child. Parent destroyed count, child destroyed count. Couldn't hurt. You know what? I'm going to put this in a different file. Should I? I'll put object pointer in a different file as well. They're not circularly dependent on each other. It's just one depends on the other. So I think that would work better. So let's... All right, that looks good. There we go. Make sure that compiles. Ooh, I didn't add it to... module object pointer not found. Did I not add it to here either? All right, error missing include unique pointer. Ooh, I might need to include compare as well, it looks like. Error operand, invalid operands to binary expression, object pointer, and null pointer type. I think it might be because I need to include compare. Okay, I might not be able to do what I was trying to do. Operands to binary expression line. This might not be allowed, what I'm trying to do. Or I need to do this a little differently, I'm not sure. But either way, I need to go check on my cat. I'll be right back. My cat is chilling like a villain out in the garage. All right, let's see if the old LLM can help us here real quick. Maybe there's a way to do this. Okay, so we just have to do operator equal. Okay, that's fair. Totally fair. I was trying to be cute with it. It does not like comparing itself with others. Hmm. It doesn't like comparing an object pointer with an object pointer. Why is that? I thought that was the whole spaceship operator. Let's candidate function. It also doesn't like. Well, that's just a note. Oh. First error first. Always resolve your first error. I'm honestly surprised about this. The default of spaceship operator should synthesize operator equal for same type comparisons, but Clang can fail to find it through gtest template instantiation and module context. adding an explicit defaulted operator fixes it. Client can struggle to find the synthesized. That's crazy. That sucks. So this should work, but maybe it's not playing nice with modules. Oh, I wonder if it's because compare. You know what? Let me try something. If I comment this out. That fails. If I come into object pointer test and I include compare, does it pass? And if it passes, that means I need to find a way to... Never mind. What the hey? I actually thought that would work. Okay. Wonder what the trick is. That just feels wrong to me, you know? It feels wrong. Okay. So where are we? Everything compiles. Let's make sure tests are still good. And I think if all that's good, I'm going to push this up, merge it as a step one to getting our object framework laid out, because then I want to get my core engine loop running with timing and everything. All this looks good. It looks good. All this looks good. Implement core object type. Oh, I should probably... Can't push ref, trying to pull... I think this is going to be a file permission issue again, because I changed the user to... No? The user's Ubuntu, and it probably needs to be funnin. Git push. Rejected. Updates were rejected because the tip of your current branch is behind its... Wait, what? Did I not make sure my main was updated before I did all this work? Are you kidding me? Did I screw up? No, it's good. And in fact, this says it was pushed. Maybe we're okay. Maybe we're okay. GitHub.com. Maybe we're not okay. I'm not seeing... No, it's here. That's so weird. All my changes are here. Oh no. These aren't my changes. Oh. I had another branch called objects. That's okay. I have a plan. Watch this. Just a little thing I like to call git push -f. It solves all your problems. Every time. Even if you didn't have any problems, it will make problems and then solve those problems. Am I not live on YouTube? Are you kidding me? I think I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. OBS is saying I'm not live. That's horse donkey. Alright, whatever. There. Problem solved. Hey, these look like the changes I made. Yep. That's exactly what I wanted. Now, does this pass the pipelines? Does it compile for Android, Linux, Mac, Windows, WASM? Look. Somebody just replied to my post on Reddit from 5 years ago. What in the world? Who's still doing this? Oh my gosh. Someone has an HP Elite Folio. Still. That's impressive. Wow. Someone replied to me 5 years later. Ooh, we don't compile for Android. We don't configure for Android. Successfully download GLFW. Didn't I fix this? All right, let's take a look. Reopen locally. Pop into our WASM container. Oh wait, was it WASM or Android? It was Android. Dang it. Android's failing to build. My YouTube title somehow got dorked up, so I'm currently Firethorn. Guess we can watch the container getting built. Firethorn. I don't know what happened. I don't think anyone's really watching my stuff, so it's not a big deal. Weird. Alright, where are we at here? We are 6 of 9. We're almost there. We're trying to build my Android development container because I have a compile error and I don't know why. But GLFW is not downloading or not compiling. Oh. I don't think we can use GLFW on Android. So I need to configure my project to not download GLFW when we're using Android. I think that's the issue. I fixed this once before, but that was before I was using Raylib, and Raylib uses GLFW. So that's almost certainly what is happening. So whenever this finishes building, I will pop in and fix that configuration so we don't pull in GLFW. Hello, my Twitch viewers. Hopefully, one of you's real out there. If you're just popping in, you popped in at a time where I'm kind of just sitting here waiting for stuff to build, so not too exciting. We're almost done though. 9 of 9. We're exporting the Docker layers now. It says 9 of 9, but we're also 12 of 13. I wonder what that is. Can I collapse that? Expand it? No. Alright, I need to listen to something else. This is putting me to sleep. Oh, let's listen to. Ooh, I haven't heard that in forever. Let's listen to Linkin Park's. It's a reanimation. Probably been 10 years since I've heard this. Come on. There we go. Now we're. Oh, nope. I just scrolled up. Whoops, that was my bad. I got excited. This must be the first time I've ever built this image on this, or in this virtual machine. Somebody else takes you out of the frame. Pace is too fast, just won't last. Do 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 do. So close. Surprised it's taking so long. Not giving my love, my pride is broken. I like to think they never wrong. Put your name to shame. Wait a minute, what was that? I just saw something interesting on my stream. Oh. Huh. I can see that all my normal viewers are offline right now. I didn't know I could see that. So who in Tarnations is watching me right now? It's okay. I'll take it. I appreciate you watching, even if we're just watching text scroll by. But not for long. Now we're in the container. So now I can start doing stuff. Oh, it's still thinking. Okay, so I need to make sure. I'm almost certain I know what's going on, but I'll configure just in case. We'll reproduce the error. But in my, yeah, see, I'm just straight up adding GLFW, and I need to add GLFW as, like, not Android, I think. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Motion man. And at the end of it all, must occur with a remix. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to step to time. All I know. Okay, so it failed on GLFW, which I think it's supposed to. So I'll save this. It'll reload. And watch the time go right out the window. And I guess I could make sure Pong still runs. Do I have an Android emulator in my container? I forget. Maybe that's why it took so long, because it was setting up an emulator. Am I even set up to like pass the KVM through? I am. Okay. Maybe I can do this. Oh my gosh, I don't remember how to stand up a well, so it creates the virtual device, Android virtual device. So maybe all I need to do is I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so that configured. Let's see if it compiles. Opportunity to Mendo. Have you show up? Change your system and have you thrown up. Engineering, man, of your dreams. Who'd always seem to make it worth it? By any means, I'm leaving your team. Let's see. So it did that. So I need to build the APK. So I build APK, and that failed. Permission denied. In my Android folder. This is this needs an executable command. Change mod plus X Gradle W, I think. Let's try it again. Wonder how I fix that. Full of hypocrisy. And then your mouth, which is sick and inhale. Everything a little thing that make things fail. It really doesn't matter to me. It's not to meant to me will eventually be a memory. Yeah, doesn't even matter who's it on. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Antenna's on top now. Looks like it built. So then I need to do an install, but I don't have an emulator running, and I don't know if this kicks one on. Yeah. My application's running on port 5037. Sure, I'll open it in a browser. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't remember how to launch or run the emulator. AVD not found. I gotta look that up. Linux, Android, SDK, launch emulator. Start the emulator from the command line. Emulator, AVD, Pixel 6. Unknown AVD name. Use list AVDs to see the names. Awen AVD. Okay. We don't have QEMU installed. Or no, we have QEMU installed. We don't have libxkb file installed. All right, I'm not gonna worry about it. It built. That was the important piece. Let's see here. So I can push this up. Add, what am I doing? Add. Don't install GLFW on Android. When I look in, so that didn't work. Why did that not work? Cannot update ref. Unable to append. Permission denied. Oh, this is getting annoying. To you. This is the last smile. Sick of being with you. Alright, let's see where we're at. Okay, so I guess that got pushed up. So let's try this again. I think all of my builds should be good now. Alright, so the Clang GCC, all that's good. The Docker builds are good. Oh, it's popping off. The Android Docker build's good. Now we're compiling some code on different systems. Looks like it compiled on Linux just fine. Compiled on Mac just fine. We're almost there. Sacrifice is never knowing. Ooh, are these gonna take longer? Are they building dependencies? Nope. They're just building slowly. I've always noticed that Windows or Visual Studio compiles slower than like GCC. Oh, all the tests pass. That's good. Then I look into your eyes. There's nothing there. Am I not running tests on? Oh yeah, I'm not running tests on Android. That makes sense. Um, all right, everything passed. We're good. Let's merge. You're still so blind to me. Cool. All right. So now I want a I have the core object for this framework with a simple signal to let us know when the object gets destroyed. Now I want to get, I think I want to get the engine in place because I want to be able to do sits in the sky in a dark night, shining where the light the sun, light the moon, assuming the moon's gonna owe one. Favors it rapidly, just turn around, start asking me about things that you want. Let's see here. Awen, we'll call this Pong. We have a main. I actually want to link against core. I'll leave all this stuff alone for now. So here I will include, let's include print. Let's import awen.core auto main. Let's add our try catch. 2, 2, 3, 3. Yeah. Then we can make sure that compiles. You say you don't understand. It does not compile. Awen core not found. That might be true. You know, I don't know what the right way to do this is, because I know there exists import standard, which like gives you everything. So I don't know if I need to do like a module file here. So if I create a new file, call it module elemento lm, we'll call it module, and then this module file we'll just call it export module awen.core, and then here we export the import Awen object pointer, except I didn't call it that, and signal, export import Awen signal, like, ooh, and overloaded. I want all that actually. Yeah. What the implications are. So if I compile that, will that play nice? It will not play nice. Oh, does it have an underscore? Export module, object pointer not found. Awen.object, oh, puh, object puh. I meant pointer. Yep. Where else am I using that? I'm using that in a test, right? Object pointer dot test. Object puh. All right, let's try that. All right, I think that worked. Shut up. I'm about to break. Let's try and run it. x64 Linux Clang release installed. Bin Awen Zapong. Hello, Awen Pong. All right. that's compiling. That's good. So I'm gonna call this. I need to put this on a branch. Create branch. Core engine. Execution style. Telekinetic psychology. Start blessing it. Chin checking kids make my point feel like an impressionist. This development instrumentalist and all of you who hate us, you can cry on. From now to infinity, let icons be bygones. Fire bombs, mostly no targets. Start bets to move on to a promise. Or without an accomplice, I'll run the gauntlet, run a response split. Gettable sound. You down. I don't know if I need. I mean, I will eventually need like a initialize and shut down. It's not really what I'm looking for right now. I'm just looking for like a run function that returns an int. Non-technicolor type A. And then this would return like exit success. Actually, I think I've already done this. Didn't I already do this? Ooh. I did a lot more than that. Nope, that's not what I want. Missile essential. 16 line to Rhine missile. Alright, why is this not auto-saving? You suck. Plans over. Most ferocious. Alright. So I need a start point. Standard chrono. Steady clock. Time point. That we're gonna call start. I really don't know why. Interesting. We need to accumulate our time. So that's going to be a duration. Steady clock. Duration. Accumulated. I'm just going to call it accumulated. We're going to need a const standard chrono milliseconds. What do I want to call this? What do we call? What do we want to call the ticks in this framework? Godot uses process. I've seen update. I have seen tick. I have seen frame. What do we want to call this? Fixed frame, fixed update, update, on update. I kind of like update. Interval's fine. I woke up in a dream today. About yesterday. Oh, we need a boolean. It's still so distant, but I can't bring you back. Okay. Let's see if it gets it. So now doesn't change, it's a const. Delta doesn't change, it's a const. It's not quite. So while delta is greater than. No, this isn't right. This isn't right. So this is delta. Then we want accumulated, and we want start equals now. So this becomes accumulated. Yeah, so no, this is not if, it's while. While accumulated is greater than equal to the fixed time step, then it's time to run a physics update. Accumulated, we subtract. But we also want to limit this to like const fixed update limit 5. Auto fixed update count. Your options, you're making a fool of me. There we go. That way we have a way to break out of this loop in case something is bogging down our system. Update the engine here, blah, blah, blah. Don't really need any of this. I do want to document this a little bit. Process fix updates if enough time is accumulated. To prevent spiral of death, we limit the number of fixed updates per frame. Perfect. And no, 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 I won't let you go. No matter how far we come. And then this delta time is eventually something we would pass into update functions. So now the trick is going to be, how do we get these propagate update functions out to everyone? I could just do child parent traversal stuff and be done with it. I can define the different phases. So we can use signals. Do I have access to signals here? Signal void on fixed update. Oop. On fixed update. Signal void on update. Signal void on event. Signal void on render. On pre-render. On post-render. So I could Right today, one was so uptight today. Me first, how the pressure was fed. Just what it feels like to have a voice in the back of my head. A face to hold inside, face to wake to close my eyes, face to watch every time I lie. Just everything sooner or down with the time to sink or swim. Alright. I am gonna think on this a second, but I'm trying to decide if I want this in the engine or if I make it like a generic object thing, which then the engine would have it, and then everyone can get it, and then if you want updates, you just register to your own updates. That, just the whole polymorphic tree traversal situation, which I might do because it's easier to implement than anything else. I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. How do I get rid of? I'm gonna get rid of you. I wanna run away. I wanna know the truth. I wanna know the answer. Shut the door. Open up my mind. That's how I continue. I find myself in question. Goodbye, association. Gotta run away, gotta run away, way. Gotta run away, gotta run away. Alright. Let's see what LLM's opinion has on this ask. Hey, hey, what do you think about using signals in my core/engine.ixx for registering callbacks for engine for my game engine update ticks. I was also considering moving these signals into my object, which engine inherits, so a user could add their own logic, their own custom logic into the update traversals. I know this typically isn't the quote best solution, but I'm curious what your thoughts are and if you had any other solutions you would like for me to consider. I also consider moving these things in. Best solution, since objects that don't have any updates still have an update called. But I'm curious what you think. Okay, let's see what the AI has to say about this. This is me alone. Just wish that it didn't feel like it was something I imagined. Things said to make you feel like that. Just wish that it wasn't feel like it was something I imagined. Hey, my one Twitch streamer. Could you give me a sign that you're there? That I'm not annoying you with my whispered singing? That you're actually finding this me struggling to write a game engine interesting? Let me look at the relevant code. All right, so the LM is digging into the code. Just wish that it didn't feel like it was something I imagined. Take back all the things you said to make you feel like that. Just wish that it didn't feel like it was something I imagined. Here's my take on both directions. Signals on engine for update ticks. The engine level signals are a reasonable approach for hooking in cross-cutting systems. Audio Physics Network Profiler, the existing run, which with its const f on update template callback is actually excellent for the common case. It's zero overhead at compile time. Oh, it's looking at the wrong class. Looked at the wrong class. Moving signals onto object. I'd avoid it. The problem's a compound. Every object instant allocates a shared pointer signal core, even with 0 subscribers. The signal's implementation isn't a trivial sentinel. It holds the control block unconditionally. Traversal is O all objects. You'd still walk the full object tree calling on update emit on nodes that do nothing. which is the exact pathology you identified. Responsibility mismatch on destroyed belongs on object. It's a pure life cycle event. Update ticks are game loop concern. Mixing them makes object a grab bag. You already have two scene representations. Object tree versus alternatively worth considering. Opt-in updatable registration. The classic fix for your stated problem. Register updatable. Objects self-register on construction and disconnect via connection. Okay. You parsed the wrong engine, I think. I have two. One in Awen core and one in Awen engine. I was talking about core. So what would I do? This would be standard chrono. Standard duration, standard chrono duration float. Delta time. Nope, that's an event. I could have an on startup on the object that would pass in the engine, which would allow nested objects to register with the engine. The onReady virtual problem, you've diagnosed it correctly. The same, not every object needs it issue applies. But there's also a second problem. When do you call it? Either at add child time, but engine doesn't know it's an active tree when intermediate nodes propagate. You need to propagate an is live flag up the tree. Yeah, I don't like that. Knows nothing about engine. Well, honestly, we had this in an old simulation framework where we basically had a flag on every object that marked it as having ready processed or not, or startup processed or not. At runtime, you traverse the whole tree calling on ready on every node. You're back to all of objects with virtual dispatch on the base class. I'm honestly okay. That's not a big deal because you're only doing it once. Both force object to know about the engine, coupling the base class to a concrete engine type. I'm okay with that. The cleanest solution, mix in interfaces plus engine bind. No virtuals on object. Objects that need callbacks inherit an opt-in interface. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. Engine gets bind overloads that wire the interface to the existing signals. But this makes it like more developer complicated. Maybe more efficient, but more like a pain in the butt for a developer to get something up and running. Engine gets bind overloads that wire the interface to the existing signals. A game object opts in at the point where you configure the engine before run. The connection is stored on the object alongside on destroyed. Firing disconnect iteration stays. No subscribers. No tree traversal. Okay. So this is saying, oh, that's so annoying. Yes, but this solution is more verbose and requires the developer to write more code. What if our engine only ever deals with a few hundred to a few thousand objects? I don't foresee performance being that big a deal if my game can still operate at a solid 60 FPS. I'm not too concerned. Generally speaking, graphics processing will typically still be the bottleneck. An on ready / on startup solution that is automatically called and traversed is a one-time event. Thoughts? I'm getting hungry. So yeah, like I get the fact that it is not the most optimal solution, right? If I wanted the most optimal solution, yeah, I wouldn't be doing a bunch of virtual inheritance. I wouldn't be doing a bunch of nested nodes, but like Godot does nested nodes. It has a bunch of polymorphism. It works just fine for a lot of people, and it's easy to use, right? I mean, Qt does the same thing. And so, like, yeah, the LLM's like, hey, no, this is bad, but I get it. All right, so on ready virtuals are fine. One real problem remains. You're right that a one-time traversal is zero performance concern. The virtual approach is legitimate. Engine run traverses the tree once before the loop calling on ready, then calls the update virtuals each tick. The one real problem, circular dependency. The core already imports object. If on ready engine is an object, you've created a cycle. Object has to know about engine, but engine inherits from object. Your options: no parameters on onReady. Objects that need the engine take it in their constructor and store it. That's fair. On ready is just you're live. Do you init? I'm leaning over right now, if anyone's watching, because my cat's here and he wants my attention, so I'm giving him attention. No parameter on ready. Objects that need the engine taken. Okay. Yeah, so I've done this before. And this is a good opportunity to do something like um, using a not null to, because you really don't want to keep track of a reference like this. Ouch. Especially if it's not const. Ouch. Why are you biting me? Yeah, I'm getting hungry too, dude. What are we going to eat? I think we're just going to heat up some bean burgers. On ready. Option 1 is the cleanest. On ready with no arguments. Blah, blah, blah. Virtual is also fine for your scale. A few hundred to a few thousand objects. 60 FPS virtual dispatch is genuinely not the bottleneck. The ergonomics win. The only waste is that you traverse get children recursively and call the virtual even on nodes with the no-op base implementation, but at your scale, that's well within budget. Verdict, go with the virtual approach. Okay. So the next thing I need to figure out is this engine stuff. I am so tempted to use a singleton. All right, my one viewer that popped in left. I'm going to go heat up some food. All right, come on. I'm hungry. Hello, Twitch viewer. How goes your day or evening or morning, wherever you're at? I had to throw my cat back out in the garage and heat up some food. I'm starving. Okay. Passing the engine into the constructor also adds some what do you call it? Obstructions to type. It sounds silly, but to typing, add some obstructions to the ergonomics of writing code, because now I have to make sure I pass the engine into every constructor, every function that might construct objects, every test, etc. Is there a potentially cleaner solution? I hate to bring it up, but what if there was a single, oh god, I'm afraid to say it aloud, singleton style function, not the engine, that could return the engine's pointer. Similar to Qt, I want there to only ever be one engine for an application. Thoughts? Is there another way? Oh, I hate to do it. The global modifiable. To be fair, though, the engine itself won't be a singleton. It'll just be a function that returns a pointer. Now, it's complaining about the circle dependency. Look, if circle dependency is an issue, we can have the engine not derive from object. So we could have an onReady function that takes the engine. What do we do about objects added at runtime where onReady has already been processed? It's easy enough to add a flag to each object to check if onReady has already occurred, but how do I get the engine to that onReady function? Hmm. Well, at this point, I guess I could just store the engine. Okay, so they're saying a singleton instance still. So that's probably the easiest way to do this. And I think that's what I want, because it would also give me access to internal systems like a physics engine who needs to maintain everything internally with like cache coherency. It also means at some point I could internally, for any performance critical sections, use a entity component system without changing the public API. So I guess the solution then is a couple of things. I don't think I hard code these signals here. Um, because maybe down the road I want to add more or change them up. Well, does that really matter? I was thinking of putting all these in like an array with an enumeration to access them. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I need a static how do I do this actually? Can I do this? Is that allowed? Oh, I don't like that. Hmm. Check, 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 check. Check out my melody. Check, 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 check. Check out my melody. I want to return. I can return pointer. But then you have to check if it's null every time. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it when you laugh at me. Look down on me and walk around on me. Just one more fight about the leadership. So I can do this, get rid of this. Had enough of this. Now I'm pills. Yeah. This time I'm gonna stand up and shout. My way, it's my way. My way or the highway. So we can do that. You'll get access to the engine. You'll get access to the signals to register your update connections. But I still need I still need to go I still need to traverse the root object. Just realize for me to start the on-ready traversal with my engine, I need the root object. Doesn't this mean the engine has a dependency on the object? Because the other thing we could do is just have like a start function, or maybe in the run, you pass in the root object. But I mean, that means you still have a dependency on it. Yes, and that's exactly right, but it's the good direction. Look at what's already on your file. The engine already depends on object. The dependency arrow shows The engine owns and traverses the tree. The circular dependency you were trying to avoid was object engine. That's gone. What? The engine is the thing that runs the object tree, so of course it needs to know what an object is. Okay. The concrete objects are the only types that import both modules. Let it all come out. This time I'm gonna stand up and shout. I'm gonna do things my way. It's my way. My way or the highway. The concrete object player are the only types that import both modules, but they sit at the top of the dependency graph with nothing above them, and no cycle is possible here. I don't know if I like that. Because eventually, I am going to want to... Okay, so I should be able to create the engine now. So... Okay, so what I was trying to do wasn't actually working. Namespace core. Did I screw up? Do I even need to do this? Can I just do... There's no way. Surely I need to do this. Error no type name engine and namespace encore. Encore engine. We export it. Encore engine. Did I not? Oh, I didn't. A, B, C, D, E. Export, import. Cannot export read declaration engine here since the previous declaration has module linkage. I was trying to... Alright, let's just see if this... Does it just work? I don't know enough about C++ modules to know what I'm allowed and not allowed to do. Yeah, I didn't think so. No member named core in namespace on. Yeah, that's what I thought. And this doesn't work either, right? Unknown type engine. Okay, so maybe what I do is move this in here and only export the class. Let's try that. Cannot export read declaration engine. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Am I allowed to do that? Okay. So all of that compiles. Well, I'm not paralyzed, but I seem to be struck by you. I wanna make you move. All right, let's see here. So I definitely failed to initialize. That's on me. The assertion checks total fixed updates, so the test was wrong. All right, let's see if the test is good now. Nation. Destroy all nations. Destroy all nations. All right, that looks promising. I think all of the tests are running and passing. Oh my god, so many tests. All right, tests are good. We're looking good. Okay. Let's make sure everything is formatted. And let's run a clang tidy on it. Make sure there's nothing sticking out for that. But if that's good, I think we've got a good start to the engine object for our framework. I still need to figure out how I want to do. There's going to be a startup. Need a root object. We could pass it into the run function, I guess. Let me check main. Hello, Twitch viewer. Thanks for stopping in. I know it's a lot. I'm writing some C++ using new module stuff, which means nothing to you if you don't know anything about C++. But that's okay. I appreciate you stopping by anyway. Let's see here. We got Pong. Okay, so now the question becomes, if I create... If I create a window, do I pass the window in here? Say move, sucker, move. What do I do? I could also do... set the window object as the root node. It's not really what I want to do here. What I really probably want to do is maybe it's a widget engine. The widget engine includes widget stuff, which means that this under the hood would have a root window object. Maybe that's what I do. And then the engine, well, no, because the engine, if I want to run headless without graphics, I still need a way to pass objects into the engine. Hmm. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, this is better. I'm on an ego trip. I'm on an ego trip. All right, things are looking up here. So, engine is an object that can call on ready. If I implement an on ready overridable function on object, how does the engine traverse the onReady functions? I think the answer is to just essentially recursively loop over in the engine all the objects and children versus doing a recursive onReady call. That way people can still override it. But I'm also thinking we could add a signal for onReady. Oh, I see. So we would have like you would override the private version of onReady. Interesting. So we would okay, so we could do something like this. This is where we come to, cause you don't have to, but you don't have to leave me like Come down. Here's all you know now. So it'd be something like auto notify ready. No, we wouldn't do this. We would do private virtual auto on ready. Underscore to mark it private. To believe me, but I don't really when you come to. There's all you know now. Believe me. So then this would be on ready, and then loop over all the children to notify ready. And then we would also have a Boolean that marks it ready. So if it's not ready, if ready, return. Ready is true. Is that right? So if my child is ready, it's already been initialized, return. Now the problem here is there a situation where I could have children that are not ready? If I build the children outside the tree and then add it, if they're not ready, they'll get initialized. Except I don't want it to be called ready. I want to be like started. So on startup, see, I don't want to do. Oh my god, so annoying. I am so tempted to just go back to. Because you might want to do something with your node on for any of these. Well, no, you have access to the engine, so you don't need. Okay, so you have the access. Yeah, you have access to the engine. I'm being dumb. All right, it's just notify startup. On startup, you could access the engine to register any callbacks you want to register for your object. Is there such thing as a? Can I do this? Is this a real thing? Can I do a default with a? I didn't think so. Yeah, so this has to be like, yeah, like that. All right, so notify startup. So then the engine, before starting, if not started, notify startup. So then, or no, it's already going to do that. I don't have to do that. All right, so we notify startup. This will make all the connections to all these events and updates, pre-renders, post-renders, etc. And then add child needs updated to check. Is that right? If this object has already started, immediately notify the new child. Yeah. Okay. Does this compile? I don't like this. I'm just gonna do. Man. Startup. They fail. They fail. Bad May. They lie. They cheat. They steal. Oh man, this is a classic. Doom, 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 doom. All the little girls filling up the world today. But the good comes to bad, the bad comes to good. But I'm in my life like I should, like I should. Now the critics wanna hit it. You sick can that we did it. Just because they don't get it. But I stay fitted. Do ever committed. Now this red cap gets a raps from these critics. And do we always gotta ride? Do we always gotta live inside a lie? Life's just a blast, it's moving really fast. Man, say on top of life will kick you in the ass. Follow me into a solo. Remember that, kid? So what you want to do? Staring at a cable lover, mic pointed at your grill like a gun. Rocking his set, it's like Russian roulette when you're placing your bet. That will be the one till I check. I know why you wanna hate me. I know why you wanna hate me. I know why you wanna hate me. Cause hate is all the world has even seen lately. I know why you wanna hate me. I know why you wanna hate me. Cause hate is all the world has even seen lately. Hey, how's it going, Mike? I am kind of just going to town on building up a game framework, if you will, using C++, currently C++ 23. I don't know, absolutely let me know if you don't understand any of the C++ lingo I'm using, but I am using C++ 23 with the new C++ modules. I'm a C++ software engineer professional, so I am kind of using this as an opportunity to learn some of the stuff I don't get to do on the job. And if people pop in and are curious, I'm happy to talk about it. So it's awesome to see someone popping in. It's really cool. Right now I'm kind of just sketching out how I want my API to look. So if I create a window to run the engine, all that looks good. Oh yeah, have you written any C++ before? A little. Which type of game am I making? So I am making a game, but I'm actually using Godot for that. Which you've put me on the spot. I don't know if I don't. I could try and run it real quick. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it won't crash first try. But my game engine is more for me to tinker, so I'm not really actively making a game with it yet. I mean, I'm using Pong to get it up and running on Windows, Android, Linux, in the browser, that kind of thing. But this is the game I am currently making, which is going to be I think it's going to be a roguelite, air combat like simulation, top down 2D. Maybe you go on missions to fight a bunch of stuff. You don't know what's going to be out there. You're going to need a radar to like pick up who if it's a good guy or a bad guy that's shooting at you. I'm thinking you're going to have stats to upgrade, that kind of thing. But not too much going on with this quite yet. I do work on it during the week when I stream, and on the weekends, which is today, is where I'm kind of working on my own game engine to just kind of keep my C++ skills sharp. What brings you into this stream? How did you find me? Were you just perusing, browsing Twitch? I try to be a professional. You know, when I'm not working though, I kind of anything goes. All right, so my code isn't compiling. I don't know why. Oh, that's why. Oh, cool. Have you is there anything in particular you're looking to try and make? Or do you just like to see what is possible? Okay, that compiled. That's good. Oh, really? That's cool. I hear you. I'm using this stream because I literally just started streaming maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And so I have like set a goal for myself to be like, okay, I'm gonna hop on stream at least 2 hours a night and write some code and see if anyone pops in and wants to chill and hang out and see how this plays out, right? Yeah, I just got started. Not programming. I've been programming for 15 plus years, but yeah, I just got started streaming. Okay, so that compiled. So I'm going to hop into my GitHub project here, get a pull request going. Make sure all of my code compiles and passes. Absolutely. Connections are always good to make. All right, let's see here. So that's good. Oh, no, those are just the Docker builds. The Docker builds are going to pass because I'm not making any changes. Just want to make sure. Ooh, it failed on Mac. Well, if you have a link to your gaming stuff, I can check it out later for sure. I want to knock out my project here, hopefully before I hop off. Let's see, engine tests, no name thread, standard namespace. Oh, that's why. Is that the only failure? Same issue. Okay. Uh, I don't uh-oh. Did I lose my video? Can you hear me? I don't share my I don't have a Discord I share right now, But if there's something you want to reach out to, I do have an email, business@funandsoftware.com. I lost my video. I might have to... Yeah, I don't have a Discord, sorry. Let's see here. I gotta figure out why my video crashed. Camera, let's see, camera. Funandsoftware.com. I think I have it on my Twitch page. I could be wrong. Did I forget to put that there? No, it's on my Twitch page and about me. I think I have to go. My stream appears to be broken, and I don't know why. So feel free to toss me an email and I can check out your stuff. It was really nice chatting with you, and I appreciate you coming to stop by and say hi. And I apologize that my video is cut out. This is the second time this has happened, but I don't know what causes it. So I think I'm going to end it here. Hope you have a good night.